Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video, we'll be taking a look at Warcry VARANSCRIBE, finding out what it is and seeing how it can add to our Warcry experience. I came across Warcry VARANSCRIBE by accident when I was looking at the Warcry website, and just having a little play around with it, it could be quite a good tool. So I thought it'd be a good time to share this video with you. So give you a look at Warcry VARANSCRIBE, talk about what it is and how it could add to your game. And as we're doing the Warcry campaign series now, this is the perfect time to use a tool like this. So in this video, we'll go right through Warcry VARANSCRIBE, looking at it in detail, and we'll use it to put together some kind of test rosters for the Beasts of Chaos. And I'll show you how you can use it for any faction that you want to play. To find the Warcry VARANSCRIBE, just go to the Warhammer community site, and then at the top, just click Explore Our Games, and then hit Warcry, and that's going to take you to a Warcry dedicated site. And this is a great place to explore. If you haven't got into Warcry yet, or you're looking to, then this is a good place. It tells you what it is, how to play, what the warbands are, talks a bit about Ravaged Lands, and shows you how to get started. And so scrolling down, it kind of goes into like all different videos. So this is an introductory how to play video. I don't think this covers all the rules because there's quite a lot of rules to get into, but a great video to introduce you to the game. Then it talks about the different factions, and so you can click these icons and that'll take you to a separate page for each and just tell you a little bit about them, just an introduction to get you started, and then it gives you an idea of who you want to play. And it hasn't got them all on here, but it's got quite a lot, so good selection. Then we're going down and it tells you about what makes a Warcry warband and choosing a warband. And these videos are on YouTube, so you may have seen them already there. And then it shows us the different Ravaged Lands. So these are some different expansion terrain sets you can pick up. A little bit about the core book. And then at the bottom, pretty much at the bottom of the page now, we come to Warcry VARANSCRIBE. And it describes it here. Make building killer rosters easy with our easy to use online warband builder. Perfect for anything from campaigns to match play bouts. With it, you'll be able to track your warbands and export handy PDFs for printing. There we go. So that's pretty much what Warcry VARANSCRIBE is all about. So let's have a real good look at it, and we'll use the Beasts of Chaos as an example, and I'll put together a roster using them and show you how you can use it for your warband. So to get started, we just click Gather Your Warband at the bottom right, and that's going to open up a separate page. And I looked to see if this was available as an app at the App Store, but it's not, so you can only access it through the web page here. This works great on a phone or iPad in portrait orientation, but I'll keep it in landscape just for the purpose of the video. And so let's get started, and it says here, welcome to VARANSCRIBE. To build your roster, simply choose a warband, give them a name, and add your units. When it's time to test your might in glorious combat, simply switch to battle mode to keep track of your tokens and glory levels mid-game. Meanwhile, the campaign tab allows you to keep track of your quests and dominated territories. Have fun. There we go. So that's what it's all about. So let's do the Beasts of Chaos now. So in the factions, we'll click this arrow, and this is going to give us all the different factions. And you can see here, it's pretty much got all the different ones you can use. So this is really great. So whichever faction you like to play, there's a chance they're in here. And so we'll go right back. We'll use Beasts of Chaos. And then for the warband name, yesterday I went through naming the warband, and the name we went for was The Chosen. So I'll put that in there and then hit ready. And now it brings us to this page and progresses us through the kind of app. And it says here the origin. So we can click on the origin. You can't add any text. So if you've written a couple of paragraphs about the background and origin of the warband like me, then you can't add that here, but you can add the origins that come along with whichever faction you choose, and this matches the options that come in the core book and also in the supplement book. So for Agents of Chaos, these will be the origins that apply to the Beasts of Chaos. So I'll choose Dream Visions and add that in. And so now we've got roster and campaign. So if you flick between the two, we'll start with the roster, and we'll need to add some fighters. So it's got our total points, and we can have up to 20 fighters. And so we simply add them one at a time. So let's start with our leader, who's the Great Bray Shaman at 195 points. And so we bring up this little tab, click on that, and then this opens up a kind of fighter card. So we need to give him a name, and let's go with Murray. There we are. And so we look at his background too, and exactly the same. This is going to give us the backgrounds that apply to the leaders in the Agents of Chaos book. So I'm going to go with Ancient Terror, and then we can choose whether he's got a lesser artifact, artifact of power, or a command trait. So as you play through your campaign, that's where these are going to get picked up. So just for an example, let's say he's got a lesser artifact, and then we go up, and this is going to give us all the options for the lesser artifacts. So as we scroll down, they're all there. So this is really great. What a cool kind of tool that we can use. Let's pick, he's got the Rust Charm ring. There we are. So that applies it there. And let's give him 1 destiny level. And that's all we need to do to get that fighter ready. And then we simply go and we have more fighters. So let's put in a Gouge Horn. And let's give him a name, Holiday. Let's give him a background. Let's say excessive violence, no destiny levels. That's him done. Then we want to add, let's have a look. It would be good to add some Ungor Raiders. So this one's called Sunday. No, I won't bother about a background for him. You can just leave it like that. Okay, so that's some fighters. Now let's add a monster. So we can go in, and this has got all the monsters that your warband can use. So if you're playing Chaos, you can kind of access all these monsters and allies. So this is really cool. But we want this Cygor. So let's find him, pop him in, give him a name. Let's call him Zane. There we are. And no destiny levels or anything like that. And let's add one more fighter so we can take this up to 1,000 points. And so let's have a look. Let's go with a Bloodkine here. And let's just call him Gruffhorn. Awesome. Right, so now if we scroll to the top, it will tell us we've got 1,000 points, so it's added those up for us, and we've got 5 fighters. So now we've got the name, the origin, we've got our fighters all lined up and ready to go. We can either go right to the bottom and then play a non-campaign game, but let's stick with the campaign. So at the top, we switch over to campaign mode, and then this is where we can choose a campaign quest. So if we just click this little arrow, this is going to give us all the campaign quests that apply to our faction and our warband. So this is really great. Again, this is going to mirror the core book and also the supplement books. So the Tome of Champions, the Agents of Chaos, all of those. I'm going to choose Fit for a King. And then that opens up with all the information you would get from the book. So this has got the introduction, it's got the map, glory points, dominated territory, progress tracker, and you can add some notes. So this is a great tool. If you don't have the books, I think this is well worth using so you can get access to all these different fated quests. If we wanted to get started, we're not going to have any glory points or dominated territories yet. So if we just click start here, that's the first step of the campaign. And so we'll want to start a campaign game now. So we hit play a campaign game, and this is going to take us into battle mode. And so here we've got the Beasts of Chaos all ready to go. We've got a few restrictions for the warband. So it says here the warband must have 1 leader assigned to a group, and the dagger, hammer, shield must have at least 1 model. It tells us we don't have enough glory to spend, and because we've got no dominated territories, we can't add any thralls to our roster. So moving down, all the fighters we put into that roster earlier on are now here, and you can see you can assign them to the different battle groups. So let's start with the leader, our great Bray Shaman, and let's put him in the shield. So we click on shield, and you'll see that takes him from that list and adds him down here in the shield section. And so we continue doing that for each fighter. So let's put the Gouge Horn in the hammer, the Cygor in the dagger. Let's put the Bloodkine in with the leader, and the Ungor Raider, he can go in the hammer too. So there we are. That's now told us we've got 1,000 points, 5 fighters, and we've assigned them all to the different battle groups. So now we've taken care of all that, it's time to play a game. So we click play, and that's going to take us to this section now. And here we've got the battle groups with all the different fighters in each one, and we've got a kind of representation here of like a card, like a fighter card. And so if we go to the Ungor Raider and take him as an example, say your opponent went first and they've caused 4 points of damage, you just take 4 points of damage off the Ungor Raider. Then it's his turn, so he does his move or attack actions, and then once he's finished his activation, you use his activation token and click that. For the others, you continue that as you go through the round, so they can wait or they can finish their activations, and you tick them all, make sure they're all highlighted. Perhaps your Great Bray Shaman has used one of his Destiny levels as a reroll, so we do that. And also we take a look to see when and how to use his lesser artifact and also his artifact of power. And so once that round is complete, you then deselect all the activation tokens, take those off, and then you're ready for the next round. And so you continue that until the battle's finished. And at any time, if any of your players get taken out, so say the Ungol Raider takes another 4 damage, he's now out of the game and you can't use him again during that battle. And once the battle's complete, you can export. So you can export at any time as a PDF, anytime you like as you play through. But we've come to the end of the battle now. So let's exit battle mode. This is going to take us back to our roster. And now this is the time we would do the aftermath sequence for the campaign. So perhaps they've lost an artifact of power, or they've gained a new one, or they've gained a command trait. So let's just choose one, Bestial Cunning. There we are. And then say we do our rolls for injuries and things like that. Then perhaps our Ungol Raider died, didn't make it. So we can remove him completely. So we just tick remove, and he's now out of the roster, out of the campaign, and can't be used again. And so this is the stage then where you can maybe add fighters, add monsters. If you've accrued more points or through the dominated territories and your glory points, then you can add fighters to the roster and introduce them there. And then you can go on and play any other non-campaign game. But if you then want to go and play another campaign game, you just go back to there, scroll back down, hit the next point on your progress tracker, and then again play campaign game at the bottom. But scrolling up, so let's go to load new. So this takes us back to the beginning, and so it saves our list. We've got our Beast of Chaos saved, but we want to add another warband, maybe play with 2. So you just simply start again. So for the faction, let's go Cities of Sigmar. Let's just call them cities. Cuties, cities, and then ready. And then we can add our fighters, just like we did before. But so let's now kind of go back to load new. So back to the beginning, and now you can see in my list, you've got Beasts of Chaos and Cities of Sigmar all saved, and you can load those up. Now I would export them as PDFs to keep track of all the information for sure. But if you do close this tab, then go back into the website and to the Varonscribe link, click it, and it opens. You'll see that it's saved those, it's saved your lists. But if you like refresh or clear your cookies and data, then that information is going to be lost, right? So definitely worth saving as a PDF. But if you don't, then it's going to keep it on there for some time anyway. So that's the Varonscribe kind of web page. It's not really an app, but it's a web page. And yeah, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is this something you've used before? Can you imagine using it in your campaign and gameplay? What do you think of it? Join in the comment section below. It'd be awesome to hear what you think. For me, I think this has got some great use if you haven't got the books but want to play the Fated quests. Having those on there is brilliant. It kind of opens up all the Fated quests and you don't have to purchase the books. So that's really good to get that information. And I also like the idea of using it to kind of do some test rosters and just to play around with the different points. It just adds it up really quickly for you. But for me, I love to use like pen, paper, use the tokens on the battlefield and on the cards. But I could certainly see a combination of these two, but I wouldn't go full on and just use this web page to play my games. I hope this video was helpful and gave you a good introduction to the Varonscribe kind of web page and what you could use it for. And if you like this type of content, please take a look at my Patreon page. It's a great place. We hang out on Discord, share our hobby, talk about different topics for Warcry, Underworlds, Warhammer Quest, and anything else that we want help with. We help each other. So a really great place to hang out, and you also get some content and some perks that you're not going to find anywhere else. So it'd be great to see you there, and I'll put a link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.